I think, therefore I am. The reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest men of past centuries. If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. Conquer yourself rather than the world. Common sense is the most widely shared commodity in the world, for every man is convinced that he is well supplied with it. Doubt is the origin of wisdom. Except for our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power. It is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. To know what people really think, pay attention to what they do rather than what they say. I desire to live in peace and to continue the life I have begun under the motto, to live well, you must live unseen. All things in nature occur mathematically. There is nothing more ancient than the truth. In order to improve the mind, we ought less to learn than to contemplate. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. Each problem that I solved became a rule which served afterward to solve other problems. Because reason is the only thing that makes us men and distinguishes us from the beasts, I would prefer to believe that it exists in its entirety in each of us. Bad books engender bad habits, but bad habits engender good books. It is best not to go on a great quest for truth. It will only make you miserable. The destruction of the foundations necessarily brings down the whole edifice. Whenever anyone has offended me, I try to raise my soul so high that the offense cannot reach it. One should never judge anything unless it is known. The first precept was never to accept a thing as true until I knew it as such without a single doubt. My third maxim was to try always to master myself rather than fortune, and change my desires rather than change how things stand in the world. When it is not in our power to determine what is true, we ought to follow what is most probable. Truths are more likely to have been discovered by man than by nation. To live without philosophizing is in truth the same as keeping the eyes closed without attempting to open them. An optimist may see a light where there is none, but why must a pessimist always run to blow it out? We do not describe the world we see the world we can describe. A state is better governed which has few laws, and those laws strictly observed. Our convictions result from custom and example very much more than from any knowledge that is certain. The chief cause of human errors is to be found in the prejudices picked up in childhood. The thinking of the mind is twofold, understanding and willing. Illusory joy is often worth more than genuine sorrow. Wonder is the first of all the passions. The two operations of our understanding are intuition and deduction. On these alone we must rely for the acquisition of knowledge. Any community that gets its laughs by pretending to be idiots will eventually be flooded by actual idiots who mistakenly believe that they're in good company. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked, and the self-same well from which your laughter rises was oftentimes filled with your tears. Desire awakens only to things that are thought possible. There is a little gland in the brain in which the soul exercises its functions in a more particular way than in the other parts. For each of us, there is a set limit to our intellectual powers which we cannot pass. The mind effortlessly and automatically takes in new ideas, which remain in limbo until verified or rejected by conscious, rational analysis. Those who travel very slowly may yet make far greater progress, provided they keep always to the straight road than those who, while they run, forsake it. There is a great difference between mind and body, insomuch as the body is by nature always divisible, and the mind is entirely indivisible. And I shall always hold myself more obliged to those by whose favor I enjoy uninterrupted leisure than to any who might offer me the most honorable positions in the world. Traveling is almost like talking with those of other centuries. So far, I have been a spectator in this theater, which is the world, but I am now about to mount the stage, and I come forward masked. Among all those who up to this time made discoveries in the sciences, it was the mathematicians alone who had been able to arrive at demonstrations. Reason is nothing without imagination. Mathematics is a more powerful instrument of knowledge than any other that has been bequeathed to us by human agency. There is nothing so far removed from us as to be beyond our reach or so hidden that we cannot discover it. It is to the body alone that we should attribute everything that can be observed in us to oppose our reason. Science is practical philosophy. Sensations are nothing but confused modes of thinking. If you want to develop your mind, you should think more, not repeat. The dreams we imagine when we are asleep should not in any way make us doubt the truth of the thoughts we have when we are awake. Hope is the desire of the soul to be convinced that the dream will come true. Nothing is more fairly distributed than common sense. No one thinks he needs more of it than he already has.